Welcome to the MJ Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. It's Brad and Eric. We were going to talk rookies, but man, did this, like the actual opening of free agency, change everything we talked about last week. Half the stuff we said last week changed. Forgot that they have the legal tampering period in the NFL.
Yeah.
Forgot about that, where nothing is final until it's final.
Aaron Rodgers hadn't actually signed with anybody. And now he has actually signed with somebody.
Yeah, and then our Devontae Adams that we said was staying there. He came out and said he's not playing on the franchise tag, so that all changed. Yeah, let's talk about. How you doing, Eric?
Good, you?
Oh, solid. Got a hole in the wall and the ceiling right above me, but we're good, though.
For a land drop?
Yeah, you never know. I wish. Maybe I should do that while we're here.
Yeah, do it. Hook it up.
Actually, think about it right there. I could run a wire.
Could do that.
Yeah. But yeah.
Oh, that's
all right. So, lots of free agency news in the NFL. Deshaun Watson has a new home.
Wild.
Baker is giving away the keys. And those Hulu those commercials aren't going to age well, are they?
No. Have you seen right before I got on with you, before we got on air, there's a video going around. It's one of the Hulu commercials, and he's walking the guy around, like telling him what to do, like, hey, put the dumpsters out the night before and stuff like that. But they photoshopped Deshaun's face over it now. So yeah, the
gate code 6.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Somebody tweeted that out. Like, somebody let lots of know the gate code 6, and that's all another one. Remember the one where he's having the yard sale?
Yeah, I saw.
This is Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Poor Baker. It's poor Baker. Dude made his money.
Yeah.
Right?
So if you live under a rock, Deshaun Watson going to the Browns for what? Three ones?
3 first, a third, and a 5th.
Yeah.
Do you think that like the Texans were like, if you guys don't throw this 5th in, we're not doing this deal? Like that's.
Well, that was like with the Russell Wilson trade, right? They threw in like a 4th. It's like they're just haggling to get something back.
Swapping force. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't understand why that late round day 3 stuff
last
comes
thing in here. But yeah, so Deshaun Watson's going to Cleveland. We can talk about his off the field stuff. We've talked about it ad nauseum.
Nah, let's focus on the fantasy stuff.
Yeah, let's say one. We don't even know if he's going to play this season. I mean, if he does, he's the highest paid quarterback now. He has the most guaranteed money
ever
for any quarterback ever, or any player ever.
Player ever. $230 million over what, 5 years? I think.
Yep. That's on top of his blockbuster deal he just signed a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with this news, with the Amari Cooper, they did release Jarvis Landry, but now there are reports they're possibly re-signing Jarvis Landry. Antonio Brown came out on Twitter and said, hey, Cleveland. I'm just saying.
I think Antonio's done everywhere. Finally, I think he's done.
Let's just go with what we know now and say that he's going to play for the Browns this season. I mean, this would be a Cleveland thing, right? Is that Deshaun Watson never suits up for Cleveland? That would be 100% a Cleveland Brown move, right?
It could be. They pay him all that money. They fully guarantee it, and then they give up all those picks, and then he never actually is able to put on a uniform for him. Yeah, that would be. That's just like ripping a Browns fan's heart right out of their chest.
Releasing.
What's that?
Remember they traded for Brock Osweiler that one time? Like took a pick to take the Brock Osweiler contract just to release Brock Osweiler. But yeah, So right now let's just assume that he plays. He plays week 1.
Yeah.
If Deshaun Watson's there with Amari Cooper, where are you ranking Deshaun Watson in the quarterbacks?
Oh, with Amari, you got Donovan Peoples-Jones still. You got Chubb. You got Kareem Hunt. He's got a good set of weapons. He's got good, decent tight ends there. He's still got
Njoku.
Yep. They let Hooper go, but oh well, no real loss there.
They got Harrison Bryant too, who's a pass catching, younger guy.
And this is by far the best offensive line he's ever played behind. They got a good
Chubb and Hunt. I don't know if you brought up Chubb and Hunt.
Yep.
Best run game he's probably ever had.
100%. Plus, they can both catch the ball out of the backfield. So they can both pass block. I mean, he's going to have more time than he knows what to do with compared to what he had in Houston. So, I mean, he's a top, 6 guy, 8 guy, no matter what. And then Amari's still in your probably your top 10.
So you say 6. So who do you have over? You have Patrick Mahomes over him?
Mahomes, Allen. From fantasy, Kyler, if that situation kind of works itself out, because he's still got the rushing upside. Actually, I'd probably put him ahead of Kyler because Kyler gets dinged up and he doesn't run. He like to run that much.
Exactly. I think
Lamar, if he's healthy,
there's a case for him to be probably top 3, right?
There's a case there, sure. I would say
he was top 3 with Brandon Cooks as his number 1.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So,
but that's on a terrible offense that couldn't run the ball, that was behind a lot. This is not going to be that, which is why I would kind of temper that a little bit. Like his ceilings, probably a little bit lower because Stefanski wants to run the ball, play defense, do all that stuff. So,
yeah.
But he's still going to be. He'll easily be a top 8 guy as long as he suits up. If he only plays 6 games, if he gets suspended for like 6 games, he's still probably a top 8 guy.
Maybe. Yeah. Okay. And then Amari Cooper, borderline wide receiver 1 on that back
100%.
end.
Yeah, he's in. Yeah, he's in that 10 to 12, 10 to 14 range there easily. So,
okay. We'll talk about the Baker stuff later with that because not really news. It's going to be more rumors with that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the other big trade, though. Davante Adams gets traded to the Las Vegas Raiders for a first and second this year. That's it. Just the first and second this year, and the trade's done over with.
Another lucrative deal as well from the Raiders.
And he got a huge 5-year deal. So what I forgot about until I thought about it more was he played college with Derek Carr.
Yeah.
It's like his best friend. They were roommates all through college. So, because at first I was like, he can't like going to Derek Carr. But then I remember I was like, oh, duh, they're like best friends.
Mm-hmm.
What does this do for Adams for you? For his value? The best thing about him was the targets, right?
Sure.
Like I don't think he's going to get the amount of targets. We're not talking 150 targets.
He could. I mean,
with Waller.
Yeah, with Waller and Renfro.
With the way that offense plays.
And then you've got Josh Jacobs there. So they like to run the ball. I see his target numbers coming down, but he's so good. He's just so efficient.
We got to remember, Gruden's gone. Josh McDaniels is in there now. So
right.
The last couple years could all be different.
Yeah. And Daniels, other outlets have talked about this. He's got the Wes Welker / Julian Edelman guy in Renfro, right? He's already got that set up. He's got his Gronk with Waller, although not quite as good, but still a pretty good,
a different skill set. A little bit different skill set.
Like 75% of Gronk, right?
He's not the big body Gronk is, but I think he's more athletic than Gronk is. Like down the field.
But now he's got the number 1 receiver that he never had with Belichick, except for Randy Moss, right? Except for that 1 year with Moss.
But he doesn't have Brady.
He doesn't have Brady. But Carr, in terms of like arm strength and things like that, I would say is probably, from a physical talent standpoint, probably more talented than Brady. He might not process as quickly. He might not, work the pocket as well, but still not a bad quarterback. And I think Adams will still he might not see 169 targets like he did last year, but if he sees 140, he's still going to catch 100 balls easily.
So last week we said Davante Adams, if he stayed in Green Bay, was still probably our number 1 wide receiver.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Cooper Kupp or Davante Adams? Who are you taking first?
Ooh.
I think Cooper Kupp takes the edge now just because it's the known, right? We're talking about a first-round pick.
Yeah.
I don't know what Davante Adams could be Randy Moss. You brought up Randy Moss when he went to the Raiders.
Yeah.
You remember that? Randy Moss' career was over. He was washed.
Yeah, he was.
He wasn't. Obviously, he came back and balled out.
Yeah.
When he went to a better situation. But I get kind of nervous.
I still like Davante better than Kupp, though. Because, again, we haven't talked about this yet, but Allen Robinson went to the Rams. They still have Van Jefferson.
Possibly going to sign Odell back.
Possibly sign Odell back. Robert Woods went to the somewhere. Where did he end up?
Tennessee. Tennessee. We'll talk about it. We'll talk.
Yeah. Anyway, he's gone.
Right. Would you rather have,
so it's just I don't think he gets the same targets he got this year. So I like Adams better because I think he'll be more efficient with the targets he does get.
So last year he was number 2. Cooper Kupp was number 1.
Yep.
And Deebo Samuel was 3. Jefferson and Chase. This is a different scoring set. It might be a little off because I think we might have bonus points in this league that I happen to pull up. But
I mean, I'm showing the same thing on Fantasy Pros. So
okay. So when we start talking about the top 10 from last year, Cooper Kupp, Adams, Samuel, Jefferson, Jamar Chase. Would you rather have Jamar Chase or Devontae Adams?
Oh boy.
For next year only. Let's not talk dynasty. Let's just say 1 year redraft.
Man, next year only.
Dynasty, I think it's a lot easier to say.
Sure, no, 100%.
Getting him for 2 years.
In Dynasty, I want Jamar Chase. For 1 year, I'd want Devontae still.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's close, though. I think that you can make...
It's really close. And you know,
can definitely make the case
since he's made some good moves on the offensive line, so those deep plays may develop a little bit better. We'll see.
How does this affect Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow? Because if Adams gets, close to what he's getting in target share.
Right. So Renfrow
we're
was
talking 160, 140, 120, 160 the last 4 years.
Yeah. Those numbers will go down a little
120 bit. The 120 year, he only played 12 games. That's why. So,
yeah.
If let's say he gets 110 targets, right?
We're talking about Waller?
No, I'm talking to Adams gets 100. There's not going to be that many passes to go around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those were Adams's. Him coming to take those from everybody.
Okay, gotcha. I thought you wanted the impact of Adams on Renfrow and Waller.
So Adams goes there, and if he gets 110 targets, Waller's numbers going down, up. Gruden's gone. Gruden loved. I mean, I'm not saying Darren Waller's bad, but Gruden loved Darren Waller.
Yeah, he did. But I think McDaniels is going to be just as good as, if not better than, figuring out how to get those guys open. I think Renfrow is probably the guy that gets hurt the most in terms of production. I think you'll see his targets go down the most out of those 3 or out of those 2. I think Waller's just going to get a lot of easy looks because you have to double Adams. You have to. So
I think the biggest one, Josh Jacobs. There's no way he gets a target. He already wasn't getting targets, and why now would they throw him the ball?
Unfortunately, yeah. Because he's a decent pass catching back, and he can do stuff with it out of the backfield. But yeah, he's not going to see a target now. Especially, they have that rapport from college, like you talked about earlier. He's going to look for him, and they paid him all that money. They're going to look for him first. So just like with the Packers, I think it's going to be, they're going to be locked in on him. But man, it's going to make stuff really easy for Waller. And Renfrow, I don't know what you're going to do with him. He's going to be open all the time. So, I mean, in terms of a safety blanket, I mean, there's your slot. There's your Julian Edelman, your Wes Welker just hanging out, ready to go in the soft spot.
I think Renfrow, with the fact that Adams has to draw a double team, because Renfrow was doing a lot of damage last year with Waller even being out.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Being the only guy. Now, if he's not the only guy, and you got to double Adams, and then you got to watch where Waller's at. PPR-wise, he's going to be a solid wide receiver too. I
would agree. He won't finish in the top 10 like he did this year. That was, like you said, that was the benefit of him being the only guy out there, really.
But he'll be a safe wide receiver too. Like, I don't think he'll win you a bunch of weeks. Like, he won't get those big, huge, like Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams. You're probably not getting a 30, 40-point game from him.
No, probably not.
But you'll probably get a steady 17.
I'm wondering how much it helps Edwards. I wonder if they bring him in on like 4 or 3 wide receiver sets, what they do with him. I'm just curious,
New coaching staff there who has nothing invested in him, talking about a third-year guy, like.
But they don't really have anybody else, and most places don't run. Most places run 3 wide receiver sets. I don't know if McDaniels is going to do that. He might run 2 tight ends because he coming from New England last year, especially last year with the way their roster was constructed. They may do that. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, well, it's a lot. It's going to be a lot to see. Still like Devontae Adams taking it in the first round. All right, you kind of already talked about it, but Tennessee cut Julio Jones. Then they made a trade for Robert Woods. Robert Woods, coming off the ACL injury, is going to Tennessee. You talked about it before the show, saying you like this move. Maybe not for fantasy, but for real football.
Yeah, for real life football, for what the Titans like to do, Robert Woods is a very good run blocker. He's a really good possession guy, and I think he'll give AJ Brown a fair shake on his side of the ball. Julio wasn't out there at all last year, so it was just, hey, let's double, triple, whatever we got to do to stop AJ Brown because Derrick Henry was hurt. So if you got Henry, Woods, and him all on the field at the same time, I think he gets a lot of easy looks because he's going to get the number 2 or number 3 guy for coverage. And then, you have to respect the run all the time. So you can't double up everybody out there. So I think in terms of Tannehill bouncing back, I think that helps him a lot. And I like the move for the Titans. I just, Brown will still get his. I think it's going to really hurt Woods' fantasy value, though.
Yeah, and I also, like I said, coming off the ACL injury, he's not the youngest of players. We'll see how that affects him.
Yeah, hopefully not too badly.
So he is 29. All right, that is Robert Woods, Tennessee. The reason that the Rams did trade him, though, is they went out and signed Allen Robinson.
Yeah.
Allen Robinson, who hurt a lot of people last year.
Boy, did he. I wouldn't say he hurt them.
No.
I would say Matt Nagy hurt them.
I don't care. You signed him. He went from being a player who was 12th in standard, 7th in PPR, to 94th in standard, 81 in PPR.
Oof.
He was unrosterable last year.
That's tough.
He had 410 yards on the season.
Well, I didn't know his numbers were that bad, but yeah.
1 touchdown. What do you think about Allen Robinson for this next year with, on the other side of Cooper Kupp, Van Jefferson's still there. Odell could get re-signed there. A lot of rumors going around about where Odell's going to go, but I don't see Odell playing a lot this season because of the ACL.
Yeah, no, probably not. Even if they do sign him back, he'll come back late in the season for the stretch run.
Do
Odell
come back
things
on a really cheap deal, I think.
Yeah.
Allen Robinson, 28-year-old wide receiver. I think this time in his career, he's purely a possession wide receiver. If he's not getting 150 targets, were what he was getting in 19 and 20 when he was the wide receiver 7 and 9. I don't see him getting 150 targets on this team.
No, probably not.
Let me look and see what Robert Woods got the last couple of years before he got hurt.
Yeah, that would be a good
real quick
model for.
So Robert Woods got 120 and 130 targets.
That makes sense.
If he can get 120 targets, what do you think Allen Robinson is?
I think he's an upper echelon, like wide receiver 2. Maybe like if somebody
14,
gets hurt, low
15.
end wide receiver 1. His touchdown numbers will be the determining factor because the yardage will probably be there the way they play that offense. But man, I think it only helps him and Cooper Kupp a lot. The only thing is they're gonna, they'll hurt each other's target numbers. But
Allen Robinson or a Seattle wide receiver.
Allen Robinson, 100%.
Because Lockett and DK finished 15 and 16 last year.
Yeah, with Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I know. I got it.
Yeah.
Allen Robinson or Jalen Waddle?
Ooh.
Waddle was wide receiver 14 last year.
Oh, man, that's a tough one. I like Waddle better because I just think the target numbers are going to be there, and I think he's going to see even more this year.
I was going to say this, but I'm not. Never mind.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say Allen Robinson or CeeDee Lamb, who was wide receiver 20, but it's CeeDee Lamb. Not even close.
Lamb might be the guy this year. We'll see what happens.
Okay. Allen Robinson, he hurt me bad last year, man. It's going to be hard to draft him.
Yeah, but looking at the recency bias there. So there's going to be, you're going to have that, you're going to have probably the two camps, right? Everybody's hyped always with Matt Stafford. He's got a real quarterback finally, right? Because he's never had a good. He's had what, Bortles, Justin Fields, and whatever the Bears have trotted out in the last, however many years. And then you got the other camp where, like you, Brad, he burned me real bad last year. So he might be a really good value. I don't know what his ADP looks like. This is why you don't draft before these, before free agency and the NFL draft, in my opinion. But some people do.
Let's talk about two other wide receivers that landed at new spots that were underwhelming last year. Let's talk about Juju Smith going to the Chiefs and DJ Chark going to Detroit.
DJ's coming off the
foot injury.
Foot
or ankle.
Is it Liz Frank?
I can't remember I don't know if it's Liz Frank.
I hope not.
Or what. Real quick, while I look this up.
Sure.
Rank, it was an ankle.
Ankle injury.
Yep. So Juju's going to the Chiefs to be the number 2 beside Tyreek Hill.
How
and his
dare you?
His Twitter game will be on point with Mahomes' wife and Mahomes' little brother. Like,
how dare you disrespect Mecole Hardman like that?
DJ Chark goes to Detroit with Amon-Ra St. Brown, right? Isn't that the other dude there?
Yeah.
And DeAndre Swift.
Yeah. Ooh, love me some DeAndre.
And Allen Robinson. So rank Allen Robinson, Juju, and DJ Chark.
Allen Robinson, Chark, Juju. Easy.
Okay.
Juju has not shown me anything in the last couple of years that says he's going to be anything, even with the Chiefs.
He did have a terrible quarterback last year. Like, terrible.
I mean, Mecole Hardman and CEH have 17. Had those guys have had Mahomes for the last couple of years, and they haven't done anything with it. So
in 2020, he was wide receiver 17. I'm just saying.
He's washed.
With terrible Big Ben.
I think he's washed.
Okay.
Even with Mahomes, I don't think you'll see a resurgence for Juju.
I do worry about Chark with Jared Goff, with Chark's being downfield and making a big play downfield.
I like the move for their team, but yeah, his fantasy value is going to crater. Yeah.
It's only a 1-year deal too. So it is a prove it deal. I know you like those guys, those prove it deals.
If you're in a contract year, go for it, buddy. They're always good. Look at Randy Gregory. Yep. He got paid. Chump.
All right. Chris Godwin re-signed. He was going to get franchise tag, which would have been a $20 million cap hit. So they signed him for 3 years for $60 million.
$20 million cap hit.
I don't think it is a $20 million.
It's
I think
not.
they spread it around and you move it around and you can save the money
by
moving it. But so Chris Godwin stays with the Buccaneers, which I think that's good news for his ACL, honestly.
Oh, 100%.
Now, I worry next year with Brady out there if I want Chris Godwin on my team.
How do you know Brady's not going to be there next year?
No, Brady's going to be there this year.
He is. He's there.
He could AB it up. We've seen it.
Well, he could.
He could, but he won't.
They haven't updated that.
It's just news I want to talk about. Chris Godwin stays there. James Conner stays with Arizona. James Conner last year down the stretch was a running back 6 when he was the only running back. Yeah, the RB6.
Oh, yeah, James Conner? Yeah.
With James Conner.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you drafting James Conner? With Chase Edmonds going to Miami.
Not in the first round. Given his man, again, that was a 1-year prove it deal, and now he got paid. That's a guy that I will let somebody else take. I will gladly let him fall to probably if he was there in the 5th or the 6th, and he's my 3rd running back.
I think he's going to be there.
He probably won't be, but I will gladly let somebody else take him earlier than that. But I mean, the guy's never played more than 15 games in a season, and that was last year.
He's going to be a 2nd round pick. It might be the end of the 2nd round, but he'll be a 2nd round pick.
I don't want any part of him in the 2nd round. Nope, he got paid. He's probably going to fall apart. Because now he's going to see. So he got 200.
Zeke or James Conner next year?
Zeke. I still like Zeke better. Zeke is the way safer floor. Zeke finished 7th.
Josh Jacobs or James Conner?
Jacobs now with Devontae there. I really like Jacobs. That helps open things up for him. And McDaniels, I think McDaniels will use him way more effectively than Gruden could ever hope to.
That covers that. Cordell Patterson saves with the Falcons. Cordell Patterson had that super hot streak, but then it cooled off pretty fast.
He was the running back.
They also went out and signed. They also went out and signed Damian Williams. Do you want anything to do with Cordell Patterson?
Trade him if you can. I don't.
Okay.
Not this year. So with no Ridley, no Julio, no Gage, just Kyle Pitts. That offensive line is still in shambles. They tried to get Deshaun Watson. I don't know how Matt Ryan feels about that. He's got a massive cap hit this year at $37 million.
Do you think
it's going to be
the reason that he didn't end up in it? Because Deshaun Watson, I think, wanted to go to Atlanta.
Hometown, right?
For some reason, something like that. Yeah. Do you think that the Texans were asking for Pitts in that deal?
Ooh, maybe. Or the safety they just drafted. Or not the safety. The corner they just drafted a year or two ago?
Pitts.
Probably.
I think they were saying, give us 2 first-round picks and Kyle Pitts.
Yeah. And
Man, just speaking of that, I wish Josh was on here to say, what would you have done if that would have happened? Maybe it didn't happen, though. It doesn't matter. But
yeah.
Dude, he'd be like, Deshaun Watson's coming to Atlanta. Kyle Pitts stock to the roof. And then he'd be like...
Yeah, Josh would have been pretty upset. Yeah.
Davis Mills throwing to Kyle Pitts. Ooh.
I mean, might be better than Matty Ice throwing to him right now.
Talk to the Matt Ryan there.
Davis Mills loves his tight ends in the red zone.
Oh, so with Chase Edmonds, I said it real quick. Chase Edmonds goes to Miami, that crowded backfield. And they went out and got Raheem Mostert, too.
Yeah, I really thought they were going to be a team that drafted one of the rookies, like a Kenneth Walker, Breece Hall, maybe an Isaiah Spiller. There's no way they draft a guy, right? So
they still have
Gaskin,
Severe Ahmed, Gaskin, Chase Edmonds,
yeah, and Mostert,
Raheem Mostert, and there's somebody else I'm probably forgetting.
Here, let's look. I'll check it out. Miami Dolphins depth chart.
Duke Johnson, that's the other one I'm forgetting. And Patrick Liard.
He's not even listed. So the depth chart,
I know,
as it sits, is Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mostert, who's already has a questionable designation, Myles Gaskin, and Salvin Ahmed.
Yeah,
that's wild.
So they're not drafting a running back, and then Chase Edmonds going there. I wasn't really a huge on Chase Edmonds anyway.
No.
At best, he was a low-end running back too. But now I want nothing to do with this Miami offense.
Well, sure.
Doug Peterson, or not Doug Peterson. Who's their new coach? It's not Doug Peterson. He went to Jacksonville. I can't remember who the new coach is there.
I don't remember off the top of my head. I'll look. But yeah, this just seems like you're stacking the same skill set over and over again, and none of them are like very good. As everybody can hear my mechanical clicking over here.
Mike McDaniel.
Yeah, that's his name.
God, he looks like somebody who can't go near elementary school.
I'm laughing because I agree. He looks really young, too. He's only 3 years older than me.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
We're old.
Okay.
But, okay, so...
I went to Yale, though.
So Mike McDaniel goes there, and we'll see what that does to their offense. But
well, that's right. He's a Shanahan disciple, so everybody thinks they're going to run the zone blocking scheme and all that fun stuff.
What it means about Shanahan's running backs, right?
Yeah, there's like
I don't know which one though.
There's 8 of them, and yeah, you don't want any of them because you have no idea they're going to get hurt. 1, they're going to get hurt, and 2, you don't know who's going to play week to week. So that's good.
All right, Matt Stafford re-signed with the Rams, pretty much to finish out his career. Got an extension. And there's the sneeze. Good job. Good mute. I like it.
Oh,
I just wanted to say it. Matt Stafford's going to be there, so the consistency with the Rams quarterback, we should be able to see. But I will admit, towards the second half of the year, Stafford kind of scared you in fantasy.
Oh yeah, no, he definitely fell off towards the end of the year, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, part of that was probably Woods going down, and then OBJ it wasn't there yet, so it was a weird transition period for them.
Cowboys filled the Amari
Please
Cooper
don't bring up the Cowboys.
They go out and they re-signed Cedric Wilson and Michael Gallup.
Oh, great!
And then they went out and brought in James Washington.
I don't get that move at all. But sure.
Flashes. Do you want to own any of these guys? Michael Gallup, if he's healthy, is really the only one there. Fantasy note.
Gallup, but coming off that ACL, I don't love him because he's older. He's like what, 30 something now?
Yep. J.D. McKissick had the Antonio Gibson owners riding a roller coaster of emotions.
I am a Gibson owner, and yes, I was thrilled when I heard
you said to the moon.
Yeah, to the moon.
To the moon.
Gibson to the moon. He was running back. What was he? 10 last year?
So J.D. McKissick.
Yeah, 10.
So everybody knows if you don't know. He took a 3-year 70 million. It was
peanuts.
Whatever the deal was.
It wasn't much.
Whatever the deal was, the Bills offered it to him.
Yes.
He said, "Yeah, I'm taking that." And then real free agent started like, well, the good old Commanders over here.
Yeah. Washington's like, "Oh, they offered you how much?" Because they didn't offer him anything during the legal tampering period. And then he was like, "Oh, I'm going to sign with the Bills." And they were like, "They gave you how much?" "Oh, we'll do that. You want to stay?" And he's like, "Sure, I'll stay." And then we're like,
Commanders, baby.
Yeah. I was like, no, Antonio to the moon. Rune.
So J.D. McKissick comes in there. All he's going to do is steal down passing work from Antonio Gibson.
I hate it. Especially with Wentz now, because all he does is check down Carson.
But Antonio Gibson, I still think, like you said, instead of going from being a mid RB1, he's still the low end RB1, an RB1.
I'm good with it.
Flirting with it. He'll be flirting to 10 to 14 instead of possibly moving up to 6.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I think that's all this really means. And J.D. McKissick, we want nothing to do with it. There's a new lead back in Carolina.
CMC?
No, Devonta Foreman, baby.
Deonta Foreman?
CMC's going down about week 3.
Yep, about week 3, Deonta will be getting the full workload there. So if you got him last year, if you picked him up as Henry's handcuff last year and hung on to him like somebody did, this guy right here.
What's this mean for good old Chuba? You done, son?
Yeah, that's going to hurt a lot.
I don't know who the quarterback's going to be there in Carolina. That's going to hurt all of them even more.
Yeah. I would hang on to Chuba. Because they may do a committee. If CMC goes down, they may do a committee, and he may see enough work that he is relevant. Maybe as a low end RB2, maybe if a bye week filling guy for you. But I think Foreman's the guy to own there.
Okay,
on the handcuff side.
We talked about Deshaun Watson. The other end of that is Baker Mayfield. So rumors. He obviously asked for the trade before the trade with Watson went down.
Uh-huh.
He probably knew. They probably told him, like, hey, this is going down, dude. Sorry. There's rumors that the Colts have had talks with him as well as the Seahawks.
Desperate times, huh?
But, I mean, what else is out there? So the Saints did clear up a lot of cap. They went from being like 70 million over to being 30 under. They had cap room to get Watson.
Somehow
they did it.
That's the wild part.
They restructured stuff left and right. Saints supposedly are looking at bringing Jameis back for another year.
Yeah, there's nobody else out there.
Yeah.
And again, that speaks to this rookie QB class that just everybody's just like, we want a vet. We want a vet. So
I think every team wants a vet, though. Did we talk about my man Mitch? We didn't talk about my man Mitch, did we?
Mr. Trubisky?
Pittsburgh Steelers got them a quarterback of the future, Mitch Trubisky, who, honestly, he can't be worse than Big Ben for the last 2 years, right?
No, he can move. He can actually run and not trip over his own feet trying to throw the ball to his running back, who's also in the backfield with him. So, yeah.
Do you worry, though, about him not checking it down because he can run it to Najee Harris instead of Big Ben having to do that? Just dumping it off because he has no mobility. Najee Harris not getting all the PPR work that he got last year.
I'm hoping. So yes, you're going to see a hit to Najee's PPR work for sure. However, I think the infrastructure there, the coaching staff there, they're going to be like, look at Mitch. Here's what we saw from you in Chicago. Here's what we want from you now. Okay. Do not try to do anything you can't do. If it's not there, don't force
Matt Nagy to the playoffs. I'm just saying.
Matt Nagy's trash.
Maybe he's not a bad quarterback.
Maybe he's not. Maybe he's not. We're going to find out.
Yeah.
I think.
I hope we find out. I hope there's not something like weird, but
I do too.
I don't want to own Trubisky, but I am willing to stream Trubisky this year.
Yeah. No, it's very intriguing. And he can make you pay with his legs. So they've got two quality wide receivers there. A good tight end.
And he's got a six touchdown game on his books too. Don't forget about that.
And then you got Najee Harris, one of the best, young running backs in the league. And that offensive line, hopefully another year together. They're very young. Hopefully they're playing a little bit better this year. And they won't have to hold up quite as long because Trubisky can actually move and throw the ball more than 10 yards.
Has the best set of quarterbacks?
The AFC West, probably.
With Mahomes,
Herbert, and Wilson.
Okay. What about the AFC North, though? With Watson, Burrow, Lamar, and then Trubisky.
It's nice. Burrow's great. Obviously, we'll see. Deshaun hasn't played football in a year. And as you like to say, especially with the college guys, they haven't played in a while.
It's quarterback.
See what happens.
Jamar Chase was just fine.
Yeah, he was. But no, I would still say the AFC West. And then after that, I mean, yeah, they're pretty good. That's a pretty good bunch. No, they're not at all.
It's not bad.
What about the NFC? No, the NFC West was better.
Yeah, but now Drew Lock, Jimmy G.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Kyler, everybody's dead on Kyler.
Yeah, Kyler being weird.
Game in his career.
Get Kyler low this year, boys and girls. Get the value for Kyler this year because nobody wants him.
All right, let's talk about the Bills real quick. They signed O.J. Howard, which it's nothing to me.
No.
I think Dawson Knox is still the guy there. And then they're going to release Cole Beasley, reports are. Yeah. Gabe Davis to the moon.
Dave to the moon. Yep. He was great in the playoffs. I mean, I don't see why he shouldn't be able to continue doing what he was doing last year. You still got Diggs.
Oh, we haven't talked about this. So on the Adams, moving away from Green Bay, what does this do for Green Bay for you? Is Aaron Rodgers? Were you guys just a year or two early on the Aaron Rodgers isn't no number one?
Yeah, I guess we were. Never wrong, just early. So,
what do you think about Aaron Rodgers, though? Like, let's be honest. What do you think about the Green Bay offense? Allen Lazard. They're talking about possibly bringing back MVS now.
There's a lot of teams interested in MVS, though. And I don't know. It seems like the Packers are really good at alienating guys to the point where they don't want to play there anymore. And I don't know if he'll stay.
Randy Cobb's back.
Yeah, they restructured for Randall Cobb. Great. Okay. Big deal. He can't get open. He's washed. Lazard is the only viable threat there. They re-signed Robert Tonyan on a 1-year deal. I could see him as a good streaming tight end option this year.
Oh, dude, if you don't want to spend on tight end and you just go get Tonyan and just
get you some
Robbie T. It won't
be
pretty. There'll be bad games, and then there'll be some touchdown games.
There'll be there'll be like two or three touchdown games for him this year.
Yes,
guarantee it.
And with no Adams there,
yes.
Honestly, so they talked about this. I can't remember where I heard this at, but Rodgers is going to have to change the way he plays the offense.
100%. He does not have.
So they're going to have to go through progressions again. He hasn't went through progressions since he's had Devontae Adams. It's been
he didn't have to.
This play is for Devontae Adams.
That's where the ball's going.
You're going to hit Devontae. We're going to set it up. It doesn't matter. So so what I will say though is in the games Devontae Adams has missed in the last, I think he's missed 6 games in the last 3 years. The Packers are 6-0. I mean, and Rodgers has been fine in those games.
Yeah. You can get by on spells.
He's still a
like
QB1.
That. But now you don't have to. Now you don't have to game plan for Devontae Adams at all. So
Aaron Jones?
Aaron Jones,
Getting some
yeah,
maybe
but you can only target him so many times, right?
You give a running back 10 targets, and I'm talking RB1.
Oh, yeah, no.
There.
He's probably going to see a huge uptick for PPR.
Christian McCaffrey lives on that.
Right? No, I think you're going to see them run the ball a lot more. I think you're going to see the rushing numbers for Jones drop. I think you're going to see Dylan get a good uptick on early down work, and then you're going to see a lot of dump offs to him or design plays for him if LaFleur figures it out. Lazard will probably be, like a wide receiver 2, maybe, if they can kind of figure it out. I don't know. Aaron, I don't think he's a QB1 this year.
I still think he's a QB1.
I don't know. He always had that safety blanket with Devontae where it's like, yep, we're calling the play for Devontae. He's going to be open. I know exactly where he's going to be. I know exactly where to put the ball for him.
Aaron Rodgers or Ryan Tannehill?
I hate you.
It's Aaron Rodgers. Don't even.
My head says Rodgers, but my heart says Tannehill.
Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins?
Ooh. I like Cousins better, actually.
You might like him, but
he's got
Aaron Rodgers.
He's got
or
people
Jalen
to
Hurts?
actually throw the ball to.
Okay.
He's got Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen's coming back because he restructured his deal. And he's got Dalvin Cook. And who's their tight end?
Aaron Rodgers has only not been a QB1 twice in his career, and that's because he only played 9 and 7 games.
Well, he's 38 years old. And they also lost some of their offensive linemen because he got $150 million guaranteed over the next 3 years.
38 years old, and he'd have to be 6 years older to be the oldest quarterback starting in the NFL. So
yeah, but Tom Brady is playing on a $10 million deal this year, not a 50 or what's he? I think it's 26 something this year.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to bring up the Aaron Rodgers.
Last
piece of news I want to bring up. Last piece of news I want to bring up is kind of not fantasy related, but you're about my age. So growing up, watching ESPN reports, John Clayton, getting your news from John Clayton.
Rest in peace.
Passed away, age of 67. I remember listening to Dan Patrick. He talked about it. He's like, that dude had a ponytail. You never knew it because ESPN always made him wear a suit, but he was a super hippie.
Yeah.
He had the ponytail. I mean, they did the This Is ESPN one where he's like in his mom's like basement or in the attic or whatever. He's like, ah.
Yeah, he's sitting there. He's on location, right? And he's talking.
Yeah.
They pull away. They show you from the behind the scene shot, behind the camera. He's got the suit on, but the sleeves are ripped
It's just
off.
a bib. It's just a bib, right?
He takes
like
it off.
Bib,
He's
right?
got a Slayer t-shirt on. He takes his hair out, and then he walks over he sits down on his bed. He starts eating Chinese food, and he yells at his mother. He cranks up the Slayer music. I was like, oh man, what a perfect commercial.
Yes. So I mean, John Clayton, just somebody I remember like all through high school and college, just all the NFL news he gave me. So it's a little sad day.
Yeah, it is sad.
Shocker. Yeah, don't want to leave on a somber note, but I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, he was great.
Anything else you want to talk about? I do have one last thing, but I'll give you one more thing before I go. If you got anything.
Yeah, Dallas, what are you doing? La'el Collins, you're going to let him go? Now he's going to go to the Bengals or the Rams or one of those other teams that needs just, one or two pieces on the offensive line. And he's going to ball out for him, and I hope he gets a Super Bowl ring. I hope Amari gets a ring. I hope La'el gets a ring. I hope everybody that left the Cowboys in the last year or two gets a ring because, Jerry, what are you doing? What are you doing? None of it makes any sense. You're going to re-sign Gallup to all that money after a torn ACL, but you're going to let Amari walk? Don't make any sense.
Yeah, I feel like you could have just let Wilson and Gallup walk.
100%.
And you could have kept Amari.
Yeah, they're like, we want to run 2 tight end sets. Okay, run it with Amari and CeeDee Lamb. And then have Jarwin and Schultz out there and then Zeke. What are you doing? None of it. I'm so done with them. And now they're talking about drafting a linebacker in the draft. I'm like, why do we need another linebacker?
I think the reports of Amari and Dak not getting along are bigger than the cap hit.
Yeah. And Dak is untradeable. Like I was looking at his cap numbers. You can't move him. You literally cannot move him.
Sean Watson just got moved, man. Anybody can get moved.
I mean, it'd be nice if the Colts
I
would
don't
go
think
get him,
Dallas
but-
can move him because it's the Dallas QB.
I mean, maybe. Jared
You know
would
what I'm saying?
probably
Like-
want too much. But
Yes. It's just like they can't move Zeke. They'd never move Zeke. He sells too many jerseys.
yeah, he does. He does sell a lot of jerseys. Yeah, Dallas's whole offseason has just made me absolutely insane.
All right. I got a trade offer in one of my leagues. You're not in this league, but it's Superflex League.
I wish I was.
Superflex Dynasty. I have no first, second, or third round pick this year and no first and second next year. Traded a lot away trying to win a championship.
You went
But
all
whatever,
in.
that doesn't matter.
You pulled a Rams.
Yeah, and it
Didn't work
I
out.
got third.
Yeah.
Lost in first round. But here's the deal that got sent to me.
Okay.
I denied it, but then I've been thinking it.
Okay.
I would give up Tom Brady,
All right.
Jimmy Garoppolo, and Devin Singletary. It is Superflex, so
Okay.
that would leave me with my starting quarterbacks of Stafford and Trevor Lawrence. There's
Okay.
no other quarterback really on my roster other than Jacoby Brissett.
Okay. I assume you're getting picks back for this though.
So what I would give you back is Nuke
Oh, okay.
and a second this year.
Ooh. Nuke in a second this year. With a second this year, you could probably get like a Matt Corral or Desmond
I ain't getting a
Ridder.
quarterback. Not in this league. I'm not getting a quarterback in the second round.
Okay. All right.
The way that we
I
draft.
mean,
is
none of them are
not-
that really that great.
They're
This year.
not good, but they're going to go.
They're going to go anyway. Okay.
Yep.
Ooh, Nuke and a second. And you've got Brady.
My
Garoppolo.
problem is that Brady is a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm still trying to push for the championship one more year with him coming back.
Yeah, if
And I'm praying for Gronk to come back because I made a trade for Gronk too in the midseason.
he'll come back. He'll come back.
Oh, I know.
If you're in a super flex lead and you have Brady and he's got Evans and Godwin, you've got to get a first back. You have to, because he's a
and
top 10 guy.
I like Nuke, but man, if Nuke wasn't hurt last year, this trade would be a lot easier for me.
Sure, yeah, his numbers were down a little bit last year. And then, man, Kyler and Russell Wilson kind of do that thing where they're really good for half the season and then they just tank.
I just remember what we forgot to talk about.
What did we talk about?
The big news we forgot to talk about. There's one free agent signing we forgot to talk about.
Who?
Jacksonville's new number one. Christian Kirk, baby.
The $72 million man. Oh my Lord.
Yes.
What a ridiculous signing that was.
Do you know that he is the second highest paid quarterback coming into next season right now?
Yeah. I understand Jacksonville has to overpay for guys, but does Christian Kirk make you appreciably better for that much money? No, absolutely not.
I feel like you should have brought back DJ Chark.
I mean, Kirk is a little, what, same age, younger? And he's healthy. He's not coming off a, jacked up ankle or whatever. Yeah. I don't love that move for Jacksonville. But if it helps Lawrence develop, whatever. But yeah, way too much money for him. And he's still a wide receiver 3, probably.
Yeah, I denied that trade. It's that super deep league I'm into. So, like, there's no quarterbacks to grab off the waivers.
Yeah. Brady, Garoppolo, and Singletary, who I really liked because he came on very strong at the end of last season. And unless they draft somebody,
He's a
backfield.
solid, he's a solid, like, bye-week fill-in running back, another flex option for me in this league.
Yeah. He finished 18th last year.
Yeah, I was starting him down the stretch.
He didn't even get 200 carries and he finished 18th last year. So he could be something next year if he gets a brunt of the workload. No, I would have denied that trade unless there's a one involved for Brady, and then the other two guys kind of equal Nuke. Maybe you give a pick back, like a third. Oh, you don't have any picks to give back. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the trade. I don't like it.
I denied it too because I felt like it was more of a not trying to go for this season.
Yeah, and plus, if you have Brady and Stafford is lighting the world on fire at the beginning of the season, and Brady's lighting the Marvel on fire at the beginning of the season, you should be easily set up for the playoffs, at least to get in.
Mhm.
Maybe not, be the top seed, but you'll be in there.
I was a top seed last year, buddy.
Okay, calm down. I'm just saying.
Calm down. Lost in the first round of the first.
You could have injuries and
I was
stuff.
Aaron Rodgers, baby. I was Aaron Rodgers.
What's the rest of your team makeup like that in there?
So Najee Harris, Austin Eckler.
Okay.
My wide receiver is by far my weakest point because
That's
Michael
odd
Thomas
for you.
doesn't do
You
anything.
usually have very strong receiving course.
Yeah, they're all very bad because my starting wide receivers in the year were Michael Pittman and Mike Williams, but at the end of the season, he wasn't doing much. It is a tight end premium as well, so I was firing out Mark Andrews and Gronk every week.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Okay. So
then,
Gronk and they were your flex and your tight end position then.
Yeah, there's two.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was two flex and super flex.
Yeah, I don't know if Nuke. Yeah, I don't think Nuke moves. Like I think it's a net loss for you losing Brady in that deal, because it also gives you injury protection having him and Garoppolo.
Yeah, and that's my thing is I don't know if Garoppolo's going to be the starter in San Fran, but I still feel like Garoppolo will be the starter somewhere.
I think he's going to be the guy in Indianapolis. He might. I don't know.
I think that's who gave up the second. That rumor of there was a second given for Garoppolo.
I mean, they got to give up something.
I think it was the second they got for Wentz.
Oh, could be. Yeah, I think San Francisco's ready to move on. I think they know what their ceiling is with him, and they're like, all right, let's see what we can do with Trey. Yeah, you did the right thing. You'll be fine.
No, I know. It just, like I said, I have weak wide receivers, and
yeah,
he's a good wide receiver. It's just,
you could give up one of those tight ends. You could give up one of those tight ends for it, but it's tight end premium. But if Gronk comes on gangbusters like week 1, be like, hey.
Honestly, I'm looking at my team, and if we start underperforming, then it is fire sale.
Blow it up time.
I almost fire sale in the middle of the season, and then I started winning some games, and then I was like, crap.
We've all been there.
Because I made a midseason trade to get Eckler. I made a midseason trade to get Gronk, Brady.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, made a lot of moves.
All right.
I gave up a J.K. Dobbins, all my draft picks.
Oh, no. J.K. Dobbins.
Oh, yeah, it's fine.
I like J.K. Dobbins.
Whatever. It ain't.
I mean, yeah, he didn't play last year, so.
Exactly.
And you give up all your draft picks.
Going for the dubs, baby.
The more I play fantasy, the more I play Dynasty, I'm like, I don't want to give up my draft picks ever again. I like to pick in the draft.
But when you have that shot, you got to go for
Sure.
it, man. I was dead last 2 seasons ago. Took this Orphans, dead last.
Yeah.
Had the first pick. Made a crap load of trades and got Trevor Lawrence, Najee Harris, Bateman, and a bunch of other people in the draft.
Oh, maybe Rashad Bateman will come off.
So I still have some young players.
They just need they need to have that 3rd-year breakout or whatever. Yeah, that'd be good.
Already.
All right.
Thanks for listening to the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. We promise we will get to rookies eventually, but man, the NFL just doesn't want us to get there yet. They're not ready for us to talk about the draft. But I'm Brad. You can catch me at Tag Jones. You can find Eric at Gunsavelt19. You can follow the pod at EmptyWagonFF.com. And tell your friends about us. Josh will be back at some time. He's a busy, busy man right now on a vacay. And, yeah. Later.
Bye.